play. Tag team champs of the podcast world. Wrestling stories spinning unfurled. Uncut, unfiltered, no holding back. Throwing chairs, throwing facts, hit a verbal smack. Uncut, unpolished, but sharp as steel. This is the wrestling pod that's keeping it real.
Yes, it's Zero today, and Leo, as you can say, it's their British takeover. Yes, it's yes. Hello, this is a very early morning edition of Uncut. Yeah, isn't it really?
Well, in America,
unless,
for us it's nearly lunchtime.
Yeah, well, but yeah, we'll have to just sort of see like what's that, isn't it really? And just sort of take it from there. Okay, for some reason we're not live on TikTok. I don't know why we're not live on TikTok, but apparently we're not live on TikTok. So let me then just double check this one and just find out why. Just flashed up. Yeah, technical issues here. It's basically telling us that we are not live on TikTok for some odd, strange reason. So this is strange. Let me just double check this and just find out why we're not live on TikTok. Yeah, hold on. But yes, so welcome to another edition of the show. It's been a quiet week really for news and stuff, hasn't it? Really, would you say? Or there's been much come down this week.
Nothing sticks out as like big news.
No,
usually some weeks something normally takes over for the week. But it's been a pretty quiet week.
Yeah, there's been hardly anything this week, has there?
I saw Tony Khan on Ariel Helwani, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, so I don't know what was said.
There was a few things and stuff I noticed on there which he mentioned about. He apparently said that it was to do. He got asked loads of questions and stuff. I know one of the questions was about Chris Jericho, and he basically just said, I can't confirm nor deny whether he's like still with the company. I can't confirm or deny whether he's like, or anything like that really. So
I saw that he said
like,
I saw that he said he was never approached about Copeland going over to WWE.
Yeah, he said that. There's another load of stuff as well that he told me. I said I can't remember exactly like what it was, but yeah, he came up with that. He came out with another load of stuff as well, and everything like that. We're still not live on TikTok, but that's fine. I'll just leave it today. Yeah, but no.
It's not much to do. Is to watch that interview. And...
Yeah, he said a lot of things and stuff, and it's just like I don't know. I don't know like what he like what he was saying and stuff. Like he might have said I don't know. He just like I said, I've seen a few bits and pieces and stuff to what he said and stuff, and it was just like, well, okay then, Tony, yeah, fair enough, and that, but it's just obviously what people in that have been saying down about things and stuff, but otherwise it's that, but yeah, no, so the only other thing then that I can really say then is this week is the Warner Brothers news. We are now actually live on TikTok. I've just fixed that now. So there we go. So we're actually now live on TikTok. I had to reconnect that. That's what I was doing. But so anyone who has joined us, welcome. This is a very special early morning edition of Uncut for America. And a afternoon, sort of late morning, afternoon. With me and Leo today. So the only other thing, because I have actually been asked about this, and I did say that I would cover it because there seems to be some confusion. So this whole Warner Brothers Discovery thing, I know, have you been following it really, or do you not really care on it or anything like that really?
I don't really know what's going on with it. When I think there was an episode of Uncut that I was on recently, and you or Bobby were just talking about it, and I was like, I have no idea what these guys are talking about.
Yeah, well, basically, the whole of Warner Brothers Discovery is up for sale. So David Zaslav has obviously put the entire company up for sale. He's looking for between $70 and $90 billion for the entire company. So,
no
whoever owns it would obviously have to pay that one out. Now, they are at the minute. I know the latest bid that's come on down is from Paramount, but it's Paramount and a load of other investors. Now, what they've done is they've teamed up with Saudi Arabia, and they've also teamed up with Saudi, they've teamed up with Dubai and stuff like that, basically, because it's like all their investment funds from around there. And basically the investment funds are putting in like 10 mil each or something like that, 10 billion each or whatever it is, like that. And then Paramount stumping the rest of the money up for it. Okay. So obviously, Paramount would have more say than what the Saudis and stuff like that would have, but they would still, the Saudis and that would still have some say in the company. So it's about 70 billion at the moment. They bid is now. Bids for the company close tomorrow. So basically, so anyone who wants to bid on the company has to do that one tomorrow. Now, I know that so Paramount's bid about 70 billion. Netflix have bid around 60 billion for it. And then you've then got people like Comcast, which is the ones that own like USA Network and stuff like that. They've bid around the same. They've bid around the 55 billion mark or something like that, basically. So, they're whatever it's going to be sold to, roughly one of them, by the sounds of it. It doesn't. I don't know like who exactly he's going to go to, but but like I said, what they've stated is the closing is tomorrow to get the bids in, and then they're hoping to sell the company in full by the end of the year, basically. So the company sale will go through by the end of the year. That's what they're saying. Paramount have come and said that they would be restoring the Snyderverse, whatever that is. I don't really follow it, but it's something to do with like like the DC universe and stuff like that. So they would be following that. They would be reinstating that and stuff like that. Obviously, if it comes on in and if they get it and stuff. But one of the interesting things as well is as part of Warner Brothers Discovery, they have CNN News, which is obviously one of Donald Trump's like massive sort of like enemies and stuff like that at the moment. Now, Trump is actually backing the bid with the Saudis and with Paramount. Like it was over yesterday or the day before. Trump actually flew to Saudi Arabia, and he had a meeting with David Ellison, which is the head of Paramount, and also the Saudis, to essentially get this deal done. And I know there was a quote at one point, because Warner Brothers Discovery they've been messing people around. They've essentially just been going, well, this is this. We don't want to sell. We're going to go only for a higher bid. We're going to go for such and such and such and such like that. And basically, Trump's basically just come out and said, you either sell the company by the end of the year, or I'll be removing everyone in the company and inserting my own people in who will make sure the company gets sold by the end of the year. And basically, so it's because he wants control over CNN. That's what he wants. If it goes to Paramount, he's got a massive backer in David Ellison and stuff, so he knows that he will be able to control exactly what goes through CNN. So that's that's the whole reason behind it, and that's why Trump's backing it. So yeah.
I mean, it might just be my absolute lack of knowledge, but what's this got to do with wrestling?
What it's got to do with wrestling is basically it's like the WCW thing again. When AOL Time Warner, which is obviously Warner Brothers Discovery, got sold, and stuff, and merged it, because what it will essentially mean is, if there's any existing TV deals in place, if there's anything sort of like, if there's anything like that, then the new company has to honor any sort of like previous sort of like law things and stuff like that. And the issue that's been put in place, and this is reported in several places as well. I think it's, if I remember rightly, I'm just trying to find it. Like places like Fightful and that have also reported this as well. Is when, who was it? Sorry, I'm trying to think it. When Nick Khan came into WWE, he put into the TV deals for all of the WWE deals and anything to do with TKO and stuff like that.
They can't be wrestling on anything that they're on.
There can't be any other wrestling company outside of the WWE bubble on the same channels that they're on.
Yeah.
So so obviously, so what that would mean is that either AEW would need to go under the TKO banner, meaning that obviously that TKO would need to own them, and that they would need to either partner up like what TNA have done with WWE and stuff, or they would have to find a new network home. Now, the one of the saving graces that they would have is the current TV deals would be honoured. So they've got a deal at least until middle of next year. When the it's like middle of next year, possibly October time next year, I do believe it is. But then after that, that TV deal would not be legally allowed to be renewed. It would need to literally be, unless they agreed to this partnership with TKO and everything, then they wouldn't legally be allowed to stay on those channels in the US for it. That's sort of how strict it is. So yeah, so that's the predicament that Tony's in and stuff. And I've seen as well, this was in the thing as well, actually, in the area, in the interview that he done, basically, that he was asked about like all the news and stuff about like Saudi Arabia and like Saudi now coming in and potentially owning AEW because of his previous comments and stuff about AEW and stuff. And Tony's now all of a sudden turned around and said, well, I never said that I wouldn't work with Saudi Arabia. And that he's basically turned around and said, like, that I would be happily to work with them, because I think he knows he's not stupid. He knows that it's coming. He's seen all the news and stuff like that. He's seen that the Saudis are going to basically be owning Warner Brothers Discovery soon and stuff like that, really. So that's that. And then he's turned around and said that his bond at the minute with Warner Brothers Discovery is obviously strong, but he does not know what the future holds and everything out for it. So this the thing is like, so that's the contributing factor. So Tony would need to make a decision really in relation to the company, to whether he sells the rights of AEW to TKO, or if he finds a different network, but one that he can go on, because of course then with these TV deals that now takes out anything Comcast, so that's that one. Nothing Netflix, nothing. What's the other one? There's a load of networks basically that they can't go on because of all like if anything WWE or UFC would know.
They do have to deal with Prime though, with Amazon.
Yeah. So they could do that. Yeah.
So not all their pay-per-views are on Prime, but recently, I think just this year, they've been broadcasting live their pay-per-views on Prime.
Yeah, so I mean, so that's an option there. Is that they could potentially just move everything to Prime and stuff. But like I said, it would basically mean that like traditional cable TV is what you would call it. Is like it's completely out of the question for them because Comcast own most of the networks anyway. They're like, and they own they own practically everything. Obviously, they can't go on Disney either. Well, they can't go on Fox or anything like that, or Disney because of the connection through there, because of the ESPN connection with WWE. Paramount's going to be out of question. And that now, if they're now obviously owning Warner Brothers Discovery and everything like that, now it's just a complete mess. It's me, like it's it's going to be a shame, obviously, seeing it going down that way. But it's going to be the same with a lot of other places. Like Tony still keeps saying that he's hoping for a network to pick up Ring of Honor, but it's just not quite in the ballpark that he's after. And I can remember when he was asked about the ballpark figure that he wanted beforehand for Ring of Honor, he wants roughly the same as what he's getting for Dynamite, and no network's giving him that. No network is offering to give him the same amount for Ring of Honor as what he wants for Dynamite and stuff, you know. And soon now, his main TV shows might not even have it.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand it with the fact that Ring of Honor is kind of stuck on its own app.
Yeah.
And so, like, obviously, he's going to want to get something for it because, you know, then more people will be watching it. He'll probably put more time and investment into it. Because right now, it's kind of just on a Thursday, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't watch it weekly.
No. Well, I mean, this is the thing as well now, is a lot of people I've seen have been saying that with the uncertainty now at Warner Brothers Discovery is obviously where they're going, and now this rumor now of obviously TNA being signed to, where is it being signed to? ABC, I think it is. Or, let me just double check. I can't remember where it's being signed to now. Yeah, it's being signed to somewhere. Let's just have a look. AMC Network. Basically, it's AMC Network. It's actually in 3 times the amount of homes as what their current network is now, which is Access TV.
Right.
That's actually in more homes than that now. So that's going to be good there. They also own that Shudder TV. Do you know that one? That sort of Shudder, that Shudder TV, film. and also for us over here as well, they own Acorn TV as well. So yeah, so sort of like it's another. It's a sort of Canadian company, but then TNA is Canadian. Their roots in that are Canadian and stuff like that, and Access and everything. Well, the ones that own them at the moment are Canadian, so that sort of makes sense. So that's obviously where they're going to. Yeah, it's AMC, but they've had like big show reruns on there and that, and they get big numbers. Like they've had Breaking Bad replays on there, they've had Walking Dead replays and stuff like that on there, and they're doing the millions on there. You know, and that it's on every single platform. It's on every sort of like, you know, like over here we have like Sky and Virgin and everything like that. Well, obviously over in America they have like Direct TV, YouTube TV, and stuff like that. That's like their big ones. And like Spectrum and stuff, and it's on all the big providers. So no matter what provider you have, providing that you have cable over there, then you can get it. You know, you can get it and you can do it that way. And obviously what they've turned around and said is that they will be going live. They will be going live 52 weeks a year. So there'll be no more pre-records. You know, the pay-per-views I expect will be going live on there as well and everything. Like, if they've got the access to like Acorn TV and Shudder and stuff like that, you never know. They could put them on there. I know obviously Shudder's like the horror thing, but you know, they could do whatever really. That they could air them live on there. They could do it through there, and you know, and then essentially merge out TNA Plus like what they've done with WWE Network and stuff. Because Endeavor, which is obviously part of TKO, own the TNA Network at the moment. Well, they own TNA Plus. So they could essentially just get rid of it and just be like, you know, no, there's no point using it really and stuff, and just sort of do it that way. So, so that's the other big thing as well. There is basically that one there. But yes, that's the sort of TV news for this week, really. For it, I can't think of anything else. I'm just trying to have a quick think. Like, I don't think there's anything else that's come down. I will just double check, but I can't. Oh yeah, Dwayne Johnson's back filming again, so he's obviously out and about for a little bit. Randy Orton has been announced for one of the shows in December. I think it's the 6th of December or something like that. He's officially been advertised for. And the last piece of news as well, actually, that's coming down, which I've actually just noticed, is SmackDown's going back to 3 hours. That's come down from WrestleVotes. the company want SmackDown to go back to 3 hours starting in January. They don't know how long for. They don't know whether it's going to be permanent. They don't know whether it's going to be, whatever, basically. But yeah, they wanted to go back to 3 hours. Do you think that's a good thing, or
no?
Or not? No. Okay.
It wasn't good for the bit we had it last year. Well, this year.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good going into next year. I mean, the other thing is that is that the first episode that they do at 3 hours is a draft, and they get the bloody roster.
Do you think so?
I don't think.
What do you think they should do that in January?
I want it to happen.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Because all the rosters feel really stale, and obviously we'll get to Raw in a bit, and the throw together Survivor Series. But it just feels like we've been doing like all the same people all the time, that we need that kind of freshness of a draft, and we can literally do the first SmackDown of the year to be just the draft, and it'll get people watching, it'll get people in. Yeah, but I don't think that was normally.
No, well, normally though, as we two say, that normal first SmackDown of the year is normally like a sort of like, how can I put it, like a dry season. That's normally what we're in now, roughly, isn't it? So, like, not like it's very like it's very quiet and dry and. Yeah, well, of course, that's the 31st of January, isn't it, as well? So that's obviously they've got like an entire month to be able to like do that, isn't it? Really. So it's we know what it's going to be like. They're not going to actually build anything until like sort of right last minute and stuff like that. So they could potentially do the draft and then get the rosters in place ready for the draft and that. So
I mean, if you've got an episode of SmackDown on the 2nd of January, why not start the year off by getting fresh rosters out so we can get fresh feuds and fresh matches? It's just like it just makes so much sense, to do it that way. Like we've had speculation of a draft since before WrestleMania.
Yeah, let me just double check something, because I'm sure that is the first live show back after Christmas.
You think so?
Because I think they finish on the. Let me just double check. Where are we? So we are there. Let's have a look here. So we've got December the 12th. SmackDown, December the 19th SmackDown. Yes, we've got December the 19th SmackDown, and then actually the first live show back is December 29th, which is Raw.
Right.
So they're doing 29th, which is Raw, which will be obviously the last one of the year. That's from Orlando. And then SmackDown is the first SmackDown back. So so there's no so that would sort of make sense there. And then and they're back normal. So I mean,
you can tape a load of promotional stuff for a draft. It doesn't have to be people in ring talking about it. You can get it all sorted out, and then we can go. The first one back is one of the biggest shows of the year because of the draft, and they've got 3 hours to kill with it.
Yeah, and everyone wants that one, because then they don't need to even stretch it out to Raw, do they? They could literally just do the entire draft.
Just do 3 hours of draft, which is obviously better.
Obviously, they have to do matches.
I didn't like the fact that they did, they'd separate it up. It's like you got to wait till Raw to wait for the rest of the roster to be sorted out. I was like, why can't we just do it all in one night?
Yeah, well, there was rumors. The reason why,
I was going to say, not even do a straight up draft, but do what they used to do, which was the you win matches and you get a certain amount of draft picks, and we just start swapping people around. They were really fun.
Yeah, well, one of the rumors coming out in relation to the draft is that they were going to do like the old style thing where they would just flash it up on the screen. So it'd be like, such and such has been drafted to Raw, and that would be either midway through a match or at the end of the match or whatever, really, and stuff, and just sort of take it from there. That's Triple H wants to sort of try and go back to the old, to the old times, as he used to call it. So,
I mean,
sort of take it from there, really. So,
with the connections to ESPN, surely that's now easier than ever.
Yeah, because then they can easily then resort it back to previous times and sort of take it from there, can't they? Really, that's the that's sort of the easiest way to do that.
I'd say
stuff, which would make sense. So, but that's we'll see what they do. They probably won't do too much for it. We know what WWE are like, but it's there might be a title change or something like that, because they tend to do sometimes a title change on the first, or it's either the last Raw or SmackDown of the year, and then normally the first Raw or SmackDown of the year.
Yeah, they normally do.
I don't think we're going to get a title change for it. Yeah, because bear in mind there will still be.
I think it was like Big E won the Intercontinental title on Christmas Day. I know it was like taped.
Yeah.
But they like to do that on like the Christmas episodes. They'll have some kind of big thing happen.
Yeah, so I don't know what they'll do this year, but that's obviously there'll be that one there. So that's obviously all the news and stuff out there from it. So let's just now go into it then. So Raw then this week. It was actually a pretty big Raw. So obviously, John Cena opened up. Now, there is some things on this, and I know obviously we turn around and say in the group chat that like I'm a WWE shield and everything like that, and and I don't like shit on anything WWE wise, but this was stupid. One of John Cena's final matches, and they've got him in a 6-man tag. MSG, they've got him in a 6-man tag and stuff. They could have put him in a one-on-one match against somebody. Especially at MSG and everything, you could have had a big time match there, and the way they were hyping it up as well, and speculations and everything like that, it was just like, oh my god, it's going to be a big match, and then it turns into a 6-man tag with the Judgment Day, basically.
I mean, we are in the 2020s.
It wasn't the best.
You can't be doing a retirement tour without getting involved with the Judgment Day.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So I didn't like. I did not like that. Not where he teamed up with obviously Rey Mysterio and Sheamus. I understand the whole Dom and Rey thing and everything like that, and Sheamus came out to come and help. But if anything, being that was like one of John Cena's final matches, especially his last Raw match as well, they should have done something bigger.
You got to think about the fact
and his last win,
last win,
as well, that's going to be like it's. I understand, yes, it also led into Dom and Cena at Survivor Series that they've set up now. But it's they should have done something bigger. They should have done a one-on-one match and stuff, because there was all these rumors that Cena wants to face Rusev. That could have been a big match. They could have done a one-on-one match on Raw for that one. But obviously the problem with that is... That's the problem with it. Yeah, that's the thing. Is any of these dream matches that they could have done, they've put them all into the tournament, haven't they? Really.
But then at the same time, would it have hurt Rusev to have Damian Priest win the tournament match and then have Rusev face Cena at MSG? So I feel like that's like, okay, you're not going to be in the tournament, and I understand why that's frustrating. But as a result of that, you can face Cena in his last Raw match
in MSG,
and then it kind of evens it out a bit.
Big one. Yeah, because that in itself is sort of an honor and sort of a big thing there, isn't it? If you think about it, like facing Cena in his final Raw match and in MSG as well, it's sort of like it kind of it helps really, and that would have been a big thing. But
it's kind of just one of those WWE isms, isn't it? Where it's like, of course it was in a 6-man tag, of course it was against the Judgment Day,
Well, that's the thing. Is like Cena and that was hyping it up as well, saying it was his favorite match type. It was his favorite match and everything of all times. It's like, so what? So your favorite match is a 6-man tag against the Judgment Day, is it?
I didn't see any of that.
Well, Cena was online and stuff, and like he even went in and done an interview. I can't remember who he done the interview with, but he done an interview and stuff, and he basically turned around and said like. They asked him what his match was, or whether he could drop any hints or whatever on his match at MSG.
Yeah.
And he said that it was a match that was his favorite match of all time. It was like his favorite match type. It was his favorite match of all time as well that he wanted. You know, he was really looking forward to it. And I was thinking to myself, like, so what? So you are happy to, like, you know, your favorite match of all time is facing the Judgment Day and stuff. You know, like, I understand. Yeah, you got that interaction with Finn. You got the interaction with Dom and everything like that as well. But you know, it's why a 6-man tag with Judgment Day? That's the whole thing. There,
yeah, it was a weird one. Like, I would have understood it earlier in the tour.
Yeah,
but yeah, at this point, at this stage, probably not.
No, yeah, at this stage it's done that way. And of course, then as well, I do hate to say it as well that obviously at Survivor Series, yes, granted, Dom's more than likely winning the title back, but again, that's another wasted one. They've essentially just doing a repeat of the same match again in Cena's final ever Survivor Series and stuff. You know, because they've already done the match at Cena versus Dom.
WrestleMania and SummerSlam.
Well, yeah, but what I mean is like we're into single digits now. You know, they could afford it when they were in sort of double digits up there, but we're in single digits now. He's got 2 matches left now, and stuff. You know,
I mean, the whole point was he was going to put people over, and Dom is a good person to have him put over.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's sort of it's just for once, and this is going to be something that can be clipped, and it'll probably be clipped after this. Well, no, I'm not hating on Dom. I'm hating on the fact that they've repeated it, and you know, and this bit here can be clipped and actually sent to Bobby because I know he's going to love this. But for once in my life, I'm actually agreeing with something that Bobby says. You know, which is they have sort of not done this retirement tour very well. It has been sort of like botched a little bit, really, in my eyes. Like they could have done it better. The whole heel turn was just basically done because of the whole heel turn for John Cena was only basically done because they weren't selling tickets for Elimination Chamber. You know, that was the only reason why they done it.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like
really.
I don't want to be like kind of that guy, but I think the retirement tour, I don't think it was fumbled by the WWE as much as it was the fans. You know, the fans said that they wanted something interesting and they wanted something different for John going into all this stuff. And that's exactly what they got in the heel turn, which nobody saw coming. And then they were like, oh, well, this is rubbish and we don't like this. And they did the whole wanting to ruin wrestling, which was, and the big example, the crap match with Cody at WrestleMania. And it was like, well, it was rubbish. Oh, yeah, that's the point. The point is he's wanting to ruin wrestling. So of course, he would have a bad match at the main event at WrestleMania. And then, then when he turned face again, because people didn't like the heel turn, they were like, well, it was too quick. It was like, well, time isn't really of the essence here. We kind of don't have a lot of time to build to a face turn, because if they had put time into it, he'd only just turned face now. And then we wouldn't have got the match with AJ. We wouldn't have got the match with Cody at SummerSlam.
No.
We probably wouldn't have got the Intercontinental title win. So it's kind of like, I feel like there's just more moaning about it just to moan. And I feel like in a few years, people would be like, oh, we didn't appreciate this as much as we probably should have. In like the same way that people now look at storylines like a decade ago and like, oh, we didn't really appreciate what we had back then, like when the Authority were around.
Yeah, definitely.
So
but
I kind of feel like there's been a lot of complaining instead of just enjoying it for what it was supposed to be, which was, you know,
John Cena's time basically.
But now we're near the end, people are like, oh, well, you know, WWE have fumbled it when it was the people online that have affected how things have gone, because they were the ones that, like, they're the reasons why he turned face so quickly, was if they didn't want him to be heel anymore.
Because they were saying it was really bad and stuff like that, wasn't it? So, but I mean, you know,
so they fixed it and they still complained.
I mean, us fans are a bit. What's the word that
fickle.
Bryan Danielson uses? What fickle? That's it. I've got to start calling Bryan Danielson now. I keep getting moaned at every single time I call him Daniel Bryan.
It's about time you got called him by his
but So Yeah, well, I keep getting moaned at every single time I call him by his by his WWE name, but so yeah, but no, it's sort of, it was a waste of a match, really, that 6-man tag. Like what we said, he could have done something big. Heck, he could have even had the one-on-one with Sheamus. Everyone's been asking for a one-on-one with Sheamus, and they could have done that. That Sheamus was there, obviously, because they used him for the 6-man tag, so they could have done that.
Yeah.
But no, they.
I think the issue is that WWE won't address the fact that, like, they won't go, well, clearly Sheamus isn't winning the tournament, so we'll just give him a match with Cena on Raw, because they wouldn't admit that. So they're like, well, he can't have the match because he's in the tournament. It's like, well, we know he's not going to win it.
Yeah.
So
hold on, give me a sec. Yeah. Obviously, yeah, that's one of the things, isn't it? I mean, I am still here. I can still hear you. I'm just have to go off camera a minute. But yeah, that's obviously that one. One of the other things then as well, and that we basically then had then afterwards then was, we had Solo Sikoa's mystery opponent, to who he was facing. Sorry, someone was at my door. So Solo Sikoa's mystery opponent then. So that obviously came out. Well, that turned out to be Dolph Ziggler in the end, a returning. They actually used his name as well, didn't they, for it?
Yeah, it's annoying because because I saw the clips from it now that we've had the 2 mystery opponents.
Yeah.
It was when John Cena did the pipe bomb, he mentioned Dolph Ziggler and he mentions Matt Cardona, and it was like they kind of gave us who it was earlier this year, and no one thought. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure people did look into it, but the overall online community didn't look into it, which meant that we kind of all thought it was going to be Jeff Hendry, or we thought it was going to be Jeff Hardy, and the answer was right in front of us the whole time, which I thought was quite funny. But it was a good they wouldn't have probably planned it this way. It's just funny how it worked out.
Yeah, they've obviously they've sort of told us, haven't they? Really, like what you said, as they sort of done it through that way. I know they've sort of gone this is such and such, this is such and such, and stuff like that. But that's fine. So what do you think then about them using their old names as well, like the old
it makes sense.
WWE
are known for being in their own universe.
Yeah.
So they won't acknowledge people by the names that they have, outside of it. So it was, I don't know, it's kind of like the fact that NXT isn't in the WWE universe because they called him Matt Cardona back at Showdown, but then they put him into the main roster as Zack Ryder. I thought it was a bit weird. But
which
it kind of makes sense. There'll also be the case of the more casual fan watching on Netflix knows who Dolph Ziggler is. Maybe wouldn't have had the same reaction if Nick Nemeth had come up.
Yeah, because
so it's kind of just the safer option. Yeah.
So I keep disappearing because I keep hearing things at my door. Yeah, sorry, I do keep disappearing because I keep hearing things at my door. This is the thing about doing a show at 11:15 in the morning, 12 in the morning. Sorry, people keep coming along. Yes, that's that one there. Who else did we have?
The Irish whip into the corner from Solo to Ziggler was brutal.
That really was, yeah. What else did we have here then? So,
to pull up the report for Raw.
No, I've got it here. I'm just skimming through it. Obviously, so we've got a new women's intercontinental champion. That being obviously now Maxine Dupree. That's that's
So the thing that annoys me here is not the fact it's Maxine Dupree.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, that's not right. So the issue is, of course, as we all argued in the group, is that why can't we just have the Intercontinental Champion be in War Games? Why not?
Granted, yeah.
But fair enough, you don't want to do it. Out of everyone who is sat on the Raw roster, Maxine Dupree was the one they chose. Not Roxanne Perez, not Raquel Rodriguez, not Lyra Valkyria, not Bayley. Maxine Dupree, who's known for being a classic wrestling champion that the Intercontinental Championship would suit.
Yeah.
It's very strange when you've got Roxanne and Raquel doing ad breaks and not really doing anything.
Yeah. No.
And, you just give the title to, because you could essentially have Raquel on like the women's world side and Roxanne on the Intercontinental side. If they're not going to be in the tag division, which they haven't been for a few months now, but instead they've got Nikki Bella in the women's world scene and Maxine Dupree in the Intercontinental Championship scene. It just feels like those two, in particular, are being kind of wasted right now.
Yeah, it's like that they're essentially, how can I put it? Triple H is using like nostalgia and like sort of going, obviously with the whole Nikki Bella thing, he's using nostalgia because he knows there's Nikki fans out there and stuff. So that's obviously, he's trying to draw in the old Nikki Bella fans by having her obviously facing Stephanie and stuff like that.
And I get that.
Survivor Series and stuff, and and stuff. Yeah.
But the fact that in 2025, Nikki Bella's had 2 pay-per-view matches.
Yeah.
And yet,
like
there's a list of people who haven't, because we have such short not short pay-per-views, but limited match pay-per-views now. That it just looks really bizarre.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, but I mean, it works. It works. It kind of works. It kind of doesn't. But it's I don't know,
because I kind of get it with the guys having the aging people, because the guys have an aging roster, but the women don't.
Yeah,
the women have a pretty solid roster as far as age goes. They're all, not all, but the majority are fairly young. So why not push those people? Unless they're waiting for something like particular reasons over the next few years. But obviously we don't know that. But, it's not as if Nikki Bella has been putting on good matches either. We all saw the botch that she did at Clash. And it's not as if people have... I wouldn't call this recent Nikki Bella run a success. No. It kind of feels like, well, I've kind of got child support to pay, so I've got to come back and do something.
Yeah. I mean, sort of like, it is a bit stupid and stuff. It is sort of like, I kind of agree. Like, the only reason why, as I was saying and stuff, and I found a post. It was from WrestleVotes originally. They said it on their sort of podcast thing that they do. Is basically, WWE don't want the mid-card champions in War Games, and that's why obviously like Cena's not doing War Games. That's why, but then Cena obviously as well is probably risk of injury, but that's obviously why they're not. That's why Cena's not doing War Games. That's why they've obviously not got Ilya in War Games. That's why they've not got now, why Chelsea's not doing War Games. That's why they've not got, now, well, it'd be Maxine now, whereas now they can now put Becky into that. And it's, a lot of it's to do with, again, going back to a previous conversation that we've had about TV deals, is like, for example, like USA Network, USA Network demand, they don't even ask, they demand for at least one title match on the go-home shows for every pay-per-view. So they're like, well, where Netflix sense. And that sort of have this big international deal and stuff, for that one, but and like the WWE started just giving them like the women's tag titles or like the men's tag titles and stuff out on there, and they were obviously like, well, we don't want that, we don't, we're not happy with just like sort of like lower mid card sort of defenses. We want either a world championship one or like a mid card one and stuff. So and that it's the same with It's the same with Netflix. Yes, even though they've got the international pay-per-view rights, obviously they don't have the USA pay-per-view rights. So obviously, again, they turn around and say, we want something big for our weekly show that we do on the Monday. So that would obviously then be why they've sort of got that. They would then have. I can't see Maxine making it on the War Games card, but I can see her having a match on the Monday after War Games. And that would then make up for it.
To be fair, it wouldn't surprise me if we know what the War Games card is now. It's just the 4 matches.
Yeah.
Because we know the War Games is going to go well. We know the women's War Games is going to go long. I mean, obviously, we'll talk about what happened at the end of Raw. I can't imagine that War Games is going to go too long.
No,
so I don't know whether they had a 5th match in, but yeah, it is a weird one. I don't like. I can forgive the whole not wanting a champion in War Games. What I can't forgive is giving the title to Maxine when there is arguably, though I have a lot of respect for Maxine and she has made big improvements in the ring, there is just better people to put the title on who can build that title up as much as Becky and Lyra did.
Oh yeah. I mean, I agree to that one enough. And obviously, I have seen a few other people go back to their champions in the match. It's like everyone's like, but then you've got your 2 world champions in the match. It's like, yeah, but that's why they don't want the mid card champions in there, because then if you can think about it, if they've then gotten and say for example, they did put like Cena and Ilya in that match, that's all 4 of your main title holders in War Games, which potentially could get injured, and then that's your title scene gone. You know, at least if you've got your
that's it. I mean,
your mid card champions and stuff,
it.
you know, and
it's just. Yeah, it's more the we could have given the title to somebody else rather than the reasoning why they've done it. It's because I can't even imagine Maxine Dupree having a feud with anybody. You know, it's not as if she's had, like, we watched she's feuded with Ivy Nile in the past, and I feel like somebody else. I mean, obviously Becky, but you know, it just doesn't feel like, you know, like she can stand by herself as Intercontinental Champion.
The only way which I can see them going with this now is they do an AJ Lee turn on her, and they put a title on AJ Lee, because they've been teasing that for a while as AJ holding that title.
Well, that's the other thing that doesn't make sense. And the same thing happened on NXT, which was why would AJ help somebody else win a title that you'd assume she's gunning for?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, but you know what's going to happen now? They'll be all friendly, and it's a typical WWE storyline where, of course, then they're all going to be friendly and stuff like that. Then AJ's just going to turn on her and challenge her for the title.
I don't think they'll even do that. I think Maxine, it'll be the case of Maxine Dupree is such a baby face that she will offer AJ the title match, and then AJ will beat her, and then she'll just go back to the position that she was in before.
Yeah. Well, looking around for a long lost brother Max, isn't it? Yeah, looking around for a long lost brother Max, as she's been saying online, you know, because she's been inviting Max Dupree back into the so that's that's probably going to be the next thing, but it's sort of I don't know,
it's a weird one there. Very questionable, but we'll see how it works. And then maybe it's the best thing that could happen to the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, I mean, it might be. You never know. Right, and then Gunther obviously defeated Javon Evans. That was a really good match, actually. To be fair,
yes.
It
Gunther lived up to the hype with which the wrestling fans knew it would be.
Yeah, especially with Javon in that match and stuff. And I'm surprised he survived that match and was able to wrestle on Tuesday. But we'll get into that one in a minute. And then the show ended with the men's War Games team brawl, where Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns have now joined their relevant team. So, you know, Paul did say earlier on during the night that he had a surprise and stuff, and his next name was going to be somebody who, like, they would hate even more than bringing Drew in, and out came Brock Lesnar. To be fair, after everything that everyone was saying, that place erupted. You know, as soon as Brock Lesnar's music hit, that place erupted. You know, had everyone online like, oh, you know, right, yeah.
It's just one of those things. It's Brock Lesnar. Even when people moan about Brock Lesnar, they're still going to react when he comes out.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Is that he's a special attraction, and that's exactly what happened. And he got the reaction that he's always going to get.
Yeah, you know, you've just got the internet fans online, just like, well, oh yeah, you know, it's Brock. We don't care for Brock. You know, he's not going to get. I don't understand why people are cheering him and stuff like that. And I hope they boo him out of the building. And then his music hits, and that place just you know, the roof. Basically, the roof blows off with the reaction that he got, and then Roman's music hit, and it got even louder as well. So you know, that was that sort of went even louder as well. Then, but no, so that was so Brock Lesnar is now on Team Vision, and Roman Reigns is on Team Punk. This is Brock Lesnar's first time ever in War Games. that surprised me.
Why?
Not really. Yeah.
He doesn't fit
I would have thought they would have done
style.
it. Yeah, but I mean, like, it's Brock in a cage. You know, it's Brock Lesnar inside a cage. I would have thought at least they would have done that way, really.
It's Brock working with other people. He doesn't do working with other people.
No, yeah, good point. Yeah, so
and what
yeah,
I mean, I can probably. The thing is that I'm not. The thing is that when I look at it, there's no way that the babyface team is losing this match.
No,
but in the same way, Brock Lesnar will come in last. He'll come in absolute dead last, which means that the babyface team will get the advantage next week. And the match will be soon over as soon as he enters that cage. We saw it in the Elimination Chamber. We've seen, obviously, he's not known for his long matches. So it's very debatable as to why they would put him in. And it's why I think that the War Games match won't go as long as it normally does.
No,
I assume what will happen is some kind of absolute finisher fest will happen on Brock Lesnar, and then somebody else will get a pin.
Probably, yeah. I mean...
Yeah, continue.
They seem to have been teasing, obviously, again, Roman and Brock. Now, obviously, when Vince was in the company, he said that would be the final every time that we had it. But then, but Triple H is back in there now, so I can see we're going to end up having Roman and Brock again because they're doing that advantage match next week, aren't they? So, and I know that Roman and Brock are both advertised for Raw. So the question is what's the match going to be? That's the thing.
Well,
are they going to end up doing Roman and Brock?
No, not on a Raw.
Okay, no, granted, fair enough. Okay, then
my thing is that I want Paul Heyman, coming from a realistic standpoint, I want Paul Heyman to justify on Raw when it comes to the advantage matches why Brock isn't in the advantage match. When Brock will just beat the crap out of it, like any of their team.
Yeah.
Like ideally you want the advantage, therefore why would you not put the most dominant guy probably in the company into that match? And I know they won't. It'll probably it'll be Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed or some crap like that. But probably, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or Jey versus Braun or something like that. Or
But can you imagine if it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna put Jimmy Uso forward. And then Paul Heyman goes, well, you can face Brock Lesnar because we want the advantage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I did. I mean,
it's sort of like
what I did do after Raw, I took some notes as to why none of the War Games teams work.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
I sent it to Bobby because I knew he wasn't going to be on there.
No. Fair enough.
So for the majority, the men's heel team actually works quite well. Like I could kind of see it. The only issue is Drew McIntyre hates Brock Lesnar with a burning passion.
Drew McIntyre hates everyone, so
Yeah, but he hates Brock especially.
Yeah, good point.
And one thing I would love to see is Brock Lesnar talking strategy with Logan Paul.
Oh, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool, actually. Yeah, that would be.
Can you imagine Logan Paul saying, "Oh, yeah, I have this idea, Brock"? He'd just be like, "Shut your mouth. Who are you talking to?"
Yeah, just shut up. Like, just I'm Brock Lesnar. Just don't. Just like who are you trying to tell strategy to? I'm just going to go in there and just F5 everybody and then just sort of like just take from there. But no, it works. But I mean, we'll see what happens. It's like 2 weeks away now, isn't it? Well, less than 2 weeks because it's the 20. Yeah, week on Saturday. Yeah, so I mean, we'll have all the graphics up and stuff like when we for it. But
the women's heel team. Asuka and Becky Lynch hate each other. We're assuming that Becky and AJ are going to be the two, which is fairly obvious. Asuka and Becky Lynch hate each other and have done for many years. Lash and Nia Jax have been a tag team for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Nia and Lynch hate each other.
Yep.
Asuka and Nia hate each other.
Yep.
4 members of the team are like, who the fuck is Lash Legend?
Yep.
And Kyrie doesn't know which team she's on because she's conflicted every week.
Yeah, so it's like some kind of like what Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. I do agree. It's a complete and utter mess, isn't it? For everything.
The women's face team, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair were friends of convenience when they started, were they not?
Yeah. Now they're friends now, aren't they, or whatever? Well, they're frenemies. Let's just say they're frenemies.
Rhea and Flair hate each other.
Yeah,
and have done for many of years.
Yeah,
and AJ doesn't know who any of these women are.
No, I mean, well, she knows Becky, doesn't she? That's it. So the rest of them should just.
On her own team. On her own team, she doesn't know.
Oh yeah, on her own team. Yeah. So yeah.
And just like, for the men's face team, I didn't even go into rivalries and stuff. These are all the matches you could get out of the men's War Games team.
Yeah. Okay.
Punk versus Cody. Cody versus Jay.
Yeah.
Jay versus Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy versus Roman versus Jay. Jay versus Punk. And Punk versus Roman.
Yeah, just that all the reasons stuff like that, man, isn't it?
We've got a War Games where someone could enter the cage and they could attack someone that they are facing in the match, or someone that they are teaming with in the match. We don't really know. Yeah.
No, yeah. So that was the cat there, and the cat made a cameo on the show.
It could just be a 10-person singles match within two rings.
Yeah. I mean, the stupid thing as well that they've obviously been doing is, as well as I know, one of the original plans that they said was it was meant to be the Wyatts versus the MFTs for War Games, but obviously Bo Dallas has just come back and they've had him wrestle in the main event. But now they've put that on SmackDown, haven't they? Where it's now the MFTs versus Sammy, Shinsuke. Who else is it? Sammy, Shinsuke,
and Ray Phoenix.
That's it. Yeah. So just thrown together like.
And John, what's really funny?
Tag me. What's that?
That match makes more sense to go into War Games than the one we have, because that's been building for months.
Yeah, it's a Yeah. Well, like I said, that was the original plan. It was meant to be originally it was meant to be the MFTs versus the Wyatts, but obviously Bo's been off because number one, because obviously stuff with his dad, and then which obviously makes sense, and then sort of things like and then he's been off injured as well and stuff like that, illness/injury as well, and he only just come back. So that's obviously why they've put it on SmackDown now. But it's going to be what's going to happen is I was saying this to you is like the only other thing that they could potentially do is the Wyatts interrupt on Friday, obviously leading the day before, and then randomly they turn around and say there's going to be a third War Games match, and then we end up getting the MFTs versus the Wyatts. But
we could just
the thing would be
War Games matches. We could just have the match on SmackDown on War Games. We could even do it as a traditional Survivor Series match. Or you could change the one with all the main eventers to a traditional Survivor Series match, have the MFTs go into War Games, but still have it on Survivor Series.
Yeah.
But they won't do that, and we know they won't do that.
No.
It's just
that's the only other option. That's the only other way which I can see is if they are going to add that potential fifth match on, is that they do have the Wyatts attack and stuff, because it was quite weird that obviously Eric Rowan's been holding the rest of the Wyatts back to him and saying not yet. So obviously, they are planning an attack, but it's obviously just it's sort of just like, when are they going to attack? That's the thing, is when's this attack going to be? So are they going to do it during the match on SmackDown? And then, like I said, then potentially
post match on SmackDown.
And then potentially then turn around and saying because they could attack both teams. You never know. They could essentially attack both teams, whatever. But they're obviously but of course they are just going for the MFTs, aren't they? Really at the moment. So so they could potentially just do that, and then just sort of then be this. We're going to add this to War Games. It's like what you said. It can either be another sort of they could do 4-on-4 tag at War Games or whatever. Just to add that match on. Or again, they could, because of course they'll have the War Games set up there anyway, so it's not like they need to do anything extra. They could literally then do a 4-on-4 War Games match between the four Wyatts and and that one there, or they get Nikki Cross involved with the match, and you have Nikki versus because you've had Nikki squaring up to Solo, and you put Nikki in there for the first time ever, and you'd have them like Nikki fighting all the men off and that inside the ring. You could have that, couldn't you? Really, from the MFTs and stuff. Nikki versus Talatonga, give me what I want. As Batista says. That's what you need to. Nikki Cross squaring up to Talatonga, that'll work. Yes, that one there. Right, so we'll quickly move on then because we've gone over the hour mark, but we've had quite a lot to cover. So NXT Gold Rush Night 1 we had. So we'll quickly go through these. So Chelsea Green and Ethan Page defeated Thea Hale and Joe Hendry to retain their AAA Mixed Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, made perfect sense. Be silly to take the titles off.
Well, this thing, I was shocked at this one because I think I explained it last week. I can't remember or whatever. It was over on here. Or it was on Putting the Blood in Line. That I would have thought it would have made more sense to really put it on Thea and Joe because they can travel to Mexico a lot easier. Because some of the AAA events are obviously on Friday nights. Now you've got Chelsea as your women's intercontinental champion. Women's US champion. So she's obviously needed on SmackDown as well. So would it not have made sense to sort of like put it on Joe and Thea where they can travel to Mexico more and defend the titles more? Really, that's the thing.
Basically, no, because they're not as entertaining as Ethan and Chelsea.
Yeah, that's the other side as well.
I think Joe Hendry is going to take the title from Ethan Page.
Do you? Fair enough.
At some point, yeah.
Yeah. Why don't hold that championship for like?
And then hopefully Ethan will go up. Just go up to SmackDown with Chelsea, just naturally.
Yeah.
We don't need like a big call up moment. Just have Ethan Page start showing up on SmackDown all the time. Because he doesn't. Ironically, even though he's been in NXT for like a year and a half ish, maybe. He's done like everything you could possibly need to do. So
yeah. So, I mean, yeah,
he's a bit like in the same thing as Oba, where it's like he doesn't really need to be here anymore. And Trick.
No.
So well, we've done everything they need to do. You may as well just move them up.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah. Right. So the next one then that we have so Blake Monroe defeated Zarya to retain the North American Championship. That was pretty obvious.
No, she didn't.
I don't know. She didn't know. No, sorry, no. She defeated Sol Ruka. Sorry, after Zarya threw the towel in. Sorry. Yeah. After Zarya threw the towel in, and then of course, and that caused some little like heightened moments at during the show as well. Basically, where Sol said she's done and everything for that. So it's sort of like
I've seen the spoiler of the match result for next week of the tournament.
Yeah.
What I'm curious about is how the finish comes about. Because you've got to think that Sol would cost in some kind of way Zarya the match, which evens them out for costing each other championships, which will then lead to some kind of turn at some point by one of them.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in the finish. I know what's happened because I'm not one of I do see online stuff, but I'm curious on how the finish goes down. Because that's the only thing I haven't seen
obviously
spoiled.
No, well, not a lot of stuff's been spoiled around there. Obviously, the match results and that's come down. And I've seen some of the other title changes next week as well, and yikes! But for that one. But it's and we won't say about sort of like any of the other spoilers or whatever for people.
Well, the match was pretty decent.
The
match itself was decent. I do want a Monroe versus Rucker match without the injury angle, just because I know those two will be really good in ring. But the match was good for what it was. The submission on the knee looked really brutal. It made sense as to why they had Zarya throw in. I know sometimes when they do the throw the towel in, it cannot look like it needs to be thrown in, if that makes sense. Like it was on maybe they could have got out of it, but the angle of the knee was pretty bad. So everything here made perfect sense, and hopefully it leads to a rematch between Monroe and then some good matches between Zarya and Rucker that feel inevitable at this point. If they're not both in the
that's probably what's coming up then. Yeah, that's what it's called. And, right, they've also then announced. So between that and then we then had a video package from Ava explaining that John Cena will be picking all the competitors for both Iron Survivor challenges next week at
I'll tell you who is very happy about this.
Who?
Javon Evans. He has guaranteed himself a spot in the Iron Survivor Challenge, because we also saw this week that John Cena said he's very high on Javon Evans.
Yeah.
So he's guaranteed a pick into the match.
Well,
even though later on in the night they kind of revealed who's in it.
Yeah, well, this is the thing which I found out is they taped night 2 before they taped night 1. So, so next week's show was taped 2 hours before the live show that they done. So when Miles Bourne came out and said, "I'm in the Iron Survivor thing," apparently he wasn't meant to say that, because of course it hadn't been revealed yet. But of course,
I assume
the reason why he said it was obviously from beforehand.
Are in the Iron Survivor Challenge because they both talked about being in it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like it was filmed obviously earlier on and stuff like that. Well, actually, the John Cena segment, I'll say he's not going to actually be live on NXT. They filmed it at Raw. They filmed the whole John Cena segment on Raw. So, so they obviously knew the names there and stuff, and obviously they did, to avoid any spoilers, that wasn't actually aired during the taping. So still nobody knows. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, unless the wrestlers just said it, I
was going to say
they never had it during the taping. So everything else has obviously been spoiled. But they never showed John once, because people who were there to me said, well, he never came out, and they never played the video package for it. They in fact they didn't show any video packages on the first taping and stuff when they done it. They literally just done the matches in ring. I guess that was to obviously get through the matches, and then obviously sort of like get things done ready for that way. So it sort of makes sense. But so that's going to be next week on that one. We then had a Ricky Saints and Obafemi segment where they're going to have a match at Deadline for the NXT Championship. I can see this is Oba's last match in NXT.
I want Oba to win so bad, and I know he's not. It's so annoying. I'm not a Ricky.
Like I said, I can see that. No. I mean, I can sense that this is going to be Oba's last NXT match that we're going to see him in. He's come back for this one match, and then they'll call him up. Yeah, like they can obviously and then they can pull him up in the Rumble, can't they? They can have him up in the Royal Rumble.
I'm not surprised,
and that could be his call up or whatever. Well, according to Dave Meltzer, but it's that's what it is there. And then we had Dark State versus Leon Slater and Javon Evans, in which Dark State retains the NXT Tag Team Championships. Yeah, that was actually a really good match, especially with Javon and Leon Slater. Yeah,
the result made perfect sense.
I can't see.
Wouldn't surprise me if we run this back again. Not soon. Probably. Like at some point, we'll run this back when Dark State have had a decent title reign, and then Leon Slater and Javon Evans will win the tag team titles. Yeah, I can't see them not putting the titles on those two with how they are. I don't know when they'll do it, but they're going to circle back. Maybe New Year's Eve or something. They'll come around to it.
They might do, and then we then had JC Jane versus Tatum Paxley, in which JC Jane is again now two-time champion because she defeated Tatum after Izzy Dane turned on Tatum at the
Izzy Dane
match, basically
is an idiot.
Yeah, because I agree with what you were saying. Like, it's easier to defeat Tatum than what it would be to defeat JC, wouldn't it? Right?
Okay, right. Let's make one thing perfectly clear. That is kind of what I said.
Okay, yeah.
With the caveat of it would be easier to defeat a emotionally distraught Tatum Paxley, because we've done this before where her friends have betrayed her and she's going into a complete meltdown.
Yeah.
It would be easier to defeat that side of Tatum Paxley for a championship for Izzy Dame than be a woman who's arguably had I'd arguably say that she's had one of the best years for a woman this year.
Mm.
You know, she became an NXT Women's Champion twice, Knockouts Champion. She has had big wins all over the place. So surely the mindset would be help Tatum retain, then betray Tatum, then take the title from Tatum.
Yeah.
But they've gone with this way instead, which is interesting. Maybe it leads to a triple threat match at Deadline or something, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the only other way which I could have seen them doing it is obviously they could have played on the whole Tatum giving out title matches. Like Izzy could have turned around and said, well, you've given everyone else a title match, but you never gave me one. You know, like, why don't you give me one? And then that's then how they could have done it is, you know, they could have just played on the whole kind of, you know, Tatum on a high because she's beaten everyone else. You know, she's basically she's done it all that way, and you know she's still giving out title matches, even though the rest of the Cullen told her not to. And then you know Izzy can just come and just say, "Well, you're giving everyone else a title match. Where's my title match?" Basically, and then boom, that's then when Izzy wins it. You know, she pins Tatum. You know, because Tatum goes, "Oh yeah, you know, it's my friend. She's not gonna like defeat me. She just literally just wants this match and everything." Then you know. Izzy wins then. They could have done it that way. That would have been a lot more easier for it.
The only way I feel like this is kind of justified is if Izzy wins the Iron Survivor Challenge.
Probably, yeah.
Actually, and that's the way
then she can face JC. Yeah.
And maybe they do a triple threat because Evil, whereas Tatum, Izzy, and JC.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It kind of, it's just as of right now thing, it looked really weird.
Yeah, so how they've done it, but no, that was NXT. Like we said, we do have Gold Rush Night 2 next week. That has already been pre-taped, so if you do want to see the spoilers, please go online. But we will not be revealing them on here. Like I said, we won't be revealing them on here anyway because it's not right to do that. If anyone obviously has not seen them or does not want to see them,
morally incorrect. The only person on the show would do that is Bobby. He doesn't have any morals.
Yeah, you know, and he's not here this week, so luckily, so that's fine. So that's the show this week. I do believe that we might be doing an earlier show next week, as in earlier on during the week, because Bobby apparently wants to do it on. Yeah, he wants to do it on Tuesday because apparently they're celebrating something called Thanksgiving, whatever that is. You know, I've never.
I don't know what that is.
No, neither do I. You know, and apparently they need an entire day off for it. So you know, I don't know what that is at all. I really don't kind of know.
Worthless holiday in the States.
Yeah, I've told Bobby he's working it and that we're going to do Uncut on Thursday and stuff. You know, he said he's going to be at home for Thursday. So, you know, if he's going to be home for Thursday, I can't see why he can't do it really, you know, but, you know, so potentially, potentially we could be back next Tuesday instead. So keep an eye out for us then. I will say as well, whilst we are on here for anyone who does watch this back, there will be no putting the blood in line this evening. There was meant to be a show, but due to reasons we can't do one tonight, and I don't know whether we're going to be doing next week because of Thanksgiving on Thursday. Ed's another one where he doesn't want to work Thursday either, so you know,
this Thanksgiving thing's got you in a loop.
I don't know. It has, you know, I'm either gonna have to do early shows or like we're just gonna have to do whatever, but you know, so
next week is Survivor Series predictions. It's a big show next week.
So we've got to do so whatever. So we will be back for Survivor Series predictions next week. Then potentially on the Tuesday. I am still trying to make Bobby do the show on Thursday, but he doesn't seem to be budging on that one at the moment. I don't see why. You know, like I said, I've told him that he's at home on Thursday, so we can do it Thursday, but. We'll see what's what. So that's this week done. Anything you've got coming up or anything?
The front row. Vote for Leo.
Yes, go vote on the front row. Actually, yes. All of our things are on there for our award show, which will be on December I can't remember what day we said. 19th. Yeah, December 19th. Yeah, we're doing the show on. Yeah, something like that.
We talked about doing it on the 17th, but I'm going to Dynamite, so I can't do it.
That was it. So that'll be on that one there. So please go to the front row to do that one. The link is out on my Twitter, or X as it is now.
I believe I retweeted.
So yes, I do believe you did. Yep. Yeah, so go ahead and vote. Don't forget as well to visit the main event database.com. That comes in very handy for anything that you do. Yeah. So yeah, that's don't forget that is
there's also a channel
really
for it now
website.
for doing championship
there is
history as well. I do many things for this man, and he forgot my birthday. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, well, if I'd got told, then I would notice, but yeah, okay.
No, what have I got coming up? Coverage of Full Gear. My predictions went out earlier today. There'll be a review on Monday. There's a top 10 list of Full Gear matches coming out on Saturday or something, I believe. Right. As well as coverage of Survivor Series and a Survivor Series card I'd like to see if it was still brand supremacy. So NXT versus Raw versus SmackDown. Yeah, the women's mid-card matches is a very attractive match. But the men's mid-card, Cena versus Dragunov versus Ethan Page would bang, and I know it would. It was such a good match.
It would, yeah. Definitely would, yeah.
Look out for that on my channel, the Wrestling Retrospective.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so so thank you for tuning in this week, and we will see you at some point next week, either Tuesday or whatever it'll be, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday next week. But yeah, so thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week. This is Zero signing out as normal. Do you want to say anything before you go or whatever? Yeah.
Subscribe to the Wrestling Retrospective.
Yeah.